Welcome to this next video, which is titled Business Rocks, where I plan to share stuff that I believe will help you to be more business focused, get the business principles that have helped me, and I hope that they will help you as well and serve you in a good way. And I hope this will be eye-opening for some key stuff which you need to order to be more successful. So the first concept is life and clients never-ending process. So this is the life's never-ending process, and this is the client's never-ending process, right? It is this. So we are always in this like right now situation, and we always want something else, and we want something fuller, right? We want to go from this to that. We want to lose this. We want to get this. We want to achieve that. We want to solve this problem. It's like always happening for us, right? Like this and that, like anything in your life, also for your clients, always. And there's two things typically blocking us, or the client's lives blocking. Like for clients, for you, both kind of apply. It is one, knowledge. This is this stuff, like knowing stuff. And the second thing is doing stuff. So I purposely, they're together. So knowing stuff, doing stuff. Knowing stuff, for example, let's say you build a business that does 10 million a year. You lose the business. You have a new business you create. Do you think it's more likely for you to achieve that result? I think so, because you have done it once. I know we have heard about this multiple times. Serial entrepreneurs again and again and again, making it happen, right? Because they know the skills. And the second thing they need and they do is the work. It's the doing stuff. And here's a perfect example of that. There's one person digging something, and then this is the world's biggest digger, which I can find online. Don't know how this works, but it's like the big digger, like digs like so much. It has way more leverage, right? So you can do way more. So in order for us to achieve these things, it's A, knowing, and B, working with the right leverage points, which could be the vehicle plus the team, such as, hey, I have 10 salespeople selling, or hey, I'm using these tools to do the same thing multiple times faster without me directly involved, like the doing stuff. So these two things are the main blockers for you, for your customers. And I want to focus right now on you specifically, that will help you to get to that 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, or even more per month mark, right? Remember that. Knowing, doing, right? Next thing, building a business is a skill. And these also are skills, like Tiger Woods playing golf, skill. Public speaking, skill. Chess, skill. Hockey, skill. None of these people, when they started, were like top of the top, the best. None of them. Never. Like there's no stuff like that. The only exception is, let's say you're the tallest person who lives. You just were born that way and you just become tall, maybe like genetics. But all other things, or maybe the heaviest baby that was born, because he just comes to life and he's the heaviest and he wins. He's the heaviest. Let's say there's a competition for that, okay? It's a funny example, just came out of my head right now. But there are skills. Making money, building a business is a skill. And this skill has like multiple skills inside of it, even more, not than these, but even more, such as customer support, product, sales, marketing, finances, IT, HR, recruiting. All of these are skills. So the principle is making money, aka building a business, building a vehicle that provides for you maybe the freedom, the business, the lifestyle, etc. It is a skill, right? It's a skill. It's not easy. It's also not possible. It is also not impossible, right? That's what I want to say. But it is possible, and it is a skill where you need to be better working at it, doing it, and then you have it. But it is a skill. It takes knowledge plus action, the doing stuff, right? It's a skill. Remember that. Next principle. It is called the 3 growth speedometers. The 3 growth speedometers. Number 3, what they are? The only 3 ways to grow. Increase the number of new clients. Increase the average transaction value, aka they spend more money on average in the first kind of purchasing cycle. And number 3, increase the frequency of repeat purchases from the existing customers. So the existing customers buy again and again and again. 3 ways. But practically what they are. To increase the number of clients, 2 things. Imagine this. This is your niche. These are all the customers in your niche. All of them driving. And this is your offer, this road here. You want to pull people, to pull traffic towards you, right? There's 4 ways, you know what they are. We're gonna talk about them, or we did talk about them in the previous video. 4 ways: content, posting ads, called outreach, other people, audiences. And you're pulling that traffic, so you're getting traffic. You need traffic, you need people coming to you. The second thing is conversion rate. How many of these people who you pull actually convert into sales? Those are your landing page optimizations. Those are your scripts. Those are how you speak. Those are how you sell. Those are how the customer experience purchasing. Is it frictionless? Can I pay with Apple Pay? Can I not? All of that accounts for percentages or offer value. All of this stuff, percentages, right? The 2 things: increase number of clients. How do you increase the average transaction value? Number 1, upselling, right? People buy your low ticket stuff. People buy your first service. Upsell the next service. Number 2, cross-selling, adding different products, like selling multiple services, maybe different things to the same customer who just bought. In the course business, it's very popular because people buy one course and then they get sold everything like as soon as possible, actually, not later, because I don't think it's the right approach. You should do it like faster, this cross-selling. Number 3, increasing the minimum order value. Let's say you have something where people can start with a lower price point. Let's say you could increase it. Hey, if you buy over 100 euros, you get free shipping. Also applies, right? Like something where it's a minimum threshold. If you have a sales team, you can just say, hey guys, minimum amount of money we can have for a customer to enroll and we start working is this. And that's how you increase average transaction value immediately if you have some people who start with lower prices. Doing offer bundles, mixing things together. For example, we are right now mixing services with software or training with software, mixing like some things together. Number 5, subscription model. If possible, offer subscriptions for long-term contracts, such as if people buy 6, 12 months at a time, it's a little bit more discount for them, maybe a little bit of better conditions, some additional things. So people are already committed for a longer time. They also have paid for a longer time. And the next time they need to pay the same amount for the same time, they're more likely to do it because you most likely have gotten results, most likely. Because for these month-to-month services, it's many times the problem is the first month there will maybe not be significant changes or some crazy results, and it's going to be harder for you to sell the next month. It can happen, just like in any business. With software specifically, the problem is people just don't use it. People don't know how to use it because it's something new. It's like a new habit. Takes time to get it, right? Makes sense, right? So these 5 things. Next thing, how to increase the frequency of them buying it. It's retaining the customer, making sure they're good, making sure you're reducing also the cycle of buying. So here's a cool idea. If you used to sell per month, maybe try to sell, you can pay every 20 days, every 30 days. The service is for 20 days, reducing the cycle, right? For the service, for the product, or some kind of way how you can shorten it. If you typically sell 3-month packages, you can also switch it to 1-month packages where they buy the same, kind of the product. So you're reducing the buying cycle. It is reselling. I see so many people that have customers before and like way after, and you're not reselling these people. You're not even communicating with them. You're just letting them sit, which is, hey, you can call up. Hey, how's it going? I see 1 year ago we did this project about you. By the way, how's things going right now? Do you need some help about X, Y, and Z? Or you know somebody who needs help with X, Y, and Z? I have a special gift if you refer us someone, like talking these kind of things. The next thing which I like is to sell the customers. Let's say you have 10 customers and those customers know 100 more customers, which could be your customers or clients, right? And if let's say with paid ads, you're spending, let's say, 500 euros to acquire a customer, you could basically be like, hey, you customer, if you give me more customers, I will send you 500 euros for every customer you bring. And also, I will let you know if they did move forward or didn't move forward, just so you know, and just so you get feedback. Would that be interesting for you? And I bet you will get more customers that way. Now, next thing is getting sales assets, right? The number 5 point is get more reviews to increase your client conversion, right? I was talking here in the first point about increasing the number of clients. It is traffic plus the conversion rate. And if you get more reviews, more testimonials, that will help you to, again, have more repeat purchases because you can use this again, as sales assets to sell more people in. Okay? Bonus section. Like imagine this. This is a 20-sided dice. So from 1 to 20 can fall anytime, right? Like low chance of hitting a 5. This is a dice where all of the sides are a 5. You want your business to be like this dice with less risk. The less risk, the better. So you want to do also some activities to minimize risk for your business. You know, so you have a 5-sided dice. So every time you roll, it's a 5. And last one bonus is you want your business to be predictable, just like a rock. You smash the rock, you sink the rock, it is still a rock, and it will not change shape, right? And it will dry off, and it will look the same, feel the same. It's gonna be the rock as it is the rock, right? You want your business to be like a rock, predictable, okay? These are the things you also could be focusing on based on these things I showed you right now. So I showed you should be focusing on increasing the number of clients, increasing the average transaction value, and making sure that people buy again and again and again, and then minimizing risk and getting your business to be predictable. Those are the things you should be focusing on. How we get leads, right? To get the sales, how do we get leads? 4 ways: posting content, paid ads, cold outreach, build audiences. We'll cover these things in way more detail in the next videos and sections. So just we're going to do that for sure. So let's move forward. Why should you care about this, Nix? Leads. Why should you care? So based on my experience working with thousands of entrepreneurs, and also not just this, also like having interviews with multiple founders that also have businesses that work with also hundreds and thousands of customers, I have seen this kind of play out multiple times, these kind of approximate numbers. So you can see 100 leads, 3,000, 500 leads, 10,000, 1,000 leads, 50,000, 1,000 leads, 100,000 per month, right? Businesses. These are per month numbers in my estimate. So you should care, and you should ask yourself, where am I right now? And majority of us, it will align what I'm showing you right now. So that's why you should care about getting leads. And how we get leads? These 4 ways, right? And then we do the selling to convert these leads into buyers and clients, right? Makes sense? Makes sense. Of course, if you're selling, let's say, a tractor for 1,000, 100,000, maybe you don't need like 500 leads to make a sale. Probably you could do it with 30, right? Or something like that, right? This is also a different story. But most of us, it is this kind of numbers, okay? And if I had to rank them, so imagine, Nix, if you had to rank them, I was asking myself this question, I thought it was interesting, but for many, I think many of you have the same question, which one should I do it? Because there's many. This will be the ranking I would give. I would give the highest possibility of scaling to and growing to €1 million company. By the way, USA, less than 5% of companies do that. Less than 5% of all companies. So it's not so easy. And in Europe, I think it's similar, even worse. I think it's probably even worse number. Not sure, but I think it's below 5%, right? Not so easy, which means 1 out of 20 entrepreneurs ever reaches this. So it's not so easy, right? So paid ads, I would give number 1. Cold outreach, I would give number 2. Posting content and using other people's audience, I would give number 3. And again, I know there's people like, again, this is just their preference. This again is me sharing my experience and how I think. And again, this also comes not just from me, but also from me interviewing people that do 1 million to 2.5 billion. That's my biggest person I have publicly interviewed about their business growth and scaling. And most of them, I asked this question: what would you do to go from 0 to 1 million the fastest possible? Most of them say it's paid ads. That's what helped them. It still works. This is still a great way. And of course, there's many new ways of using paid ads, right? To get it working, right? Okay, cool. Let's move forward. How we sell. So it is taking a new lead or a buyer of a low ticket product, using a sales mechanism and getting a paying client, right? Getting a paying client. There's multiple ways, right? Multiple. Oh my God, like a lot. Just let me break it down the big picture. We're not going to cover this too in detail, but I just want to give you, just so you have awareness of these things. One-on-one sales, in person, Zoom, DMing, chatting. Group sales, webinars, events, challenges, masterclass, workshops, selling through content, like selling through email marketing, social media, podcasts, YouTube. We're driving people to buy something from that. Online sales, digital products, e-commerce, automated webinar funnels. This one I really like. It's called the relationship and referral based sales. It's more about, hey, getting sales from referrals, affiliate partnerships, strategic partnerships, networking from communities, and of course there are a bunch of other ways. We will go really in detail about one-on-one sales and online sales, right? And all of these stuff is also important, which we're gonna cover not so into detail, but these two things were gonna be big because I believe they have the highest likeliness of helping you, who's right now in this product, to reach the first 6-7 figures a year. Okay, that's why. And I'm not saying maybe in the future it will change and adapt, we will improve the product as well, our training will improve, just so you know, okay? Next principle, I love this principle so much. It really makes people see and understand clearly the difference and what is to expect. It is called the CWH circle, right? And I'm also like a circle here, okay? So it's a cold circle, people who do not know you. Warm circle, people that do know you but are not so yet familiar what you have to offer. And people are hot. They're basically, yeah, I know, I want to buy, I like this person, yeah, I'm just like looking for maybe the best timing is going to be this week, next week, the day after week, right? So, what is the reality? The reality is like this. Selling to the hot, very easy. Selling to the cold, very hard. Growing as a company, like expanding many times. Here it's less growth or slow growth. Here, way more growth, like huge growth potential is here, right? But again, selling is way harder, like much harder, like completely opposite, right? And then the reality in my experience, let me share my experience. So I was doing Latvian market, getting clients, and it was working. And I was also doing, like, let's do English market. So here you can see all of these one-liners. Those are campaigns and ideas we launched with, let's say, ads, but there were ads, copy, sometimes funnels, sometimes without a funnel. We launched to get sales abroad, to get, let's say, we are a Latvian-based company. We wanted to get sales from America, from Europe, from Dubai. We launched all these ideas, right? And all of these failed. And here's a screenshot of what I mean by failed. The results were not there as we wanted to. So we were spending approximately like 30,000+ euros, getting 15 clients and paying around 2,500 euros per customer. At that time, it was basically, we were spending 3,000, getting 3,000, and then we had to pay salespeople, pay client success team. Basically, every time we get a sale, we lose money. Wow. Nix, why are you doing that? Yes, crazy, right? Wrong idea to make money. It's not a good idea to make money. And it took us a lot of time because we were going here. Like, let's say I'm working in Latvia, or let's say you're working in a local market or your local region. People maybe know you. Like, you have a little bit of this, a little bit of this. But when you go outside to a new country, new language, like basically English is not my first language, right? It's like everybody is like this. And most people, they go this and they quit because they're like, shit, it's too hard, and I quit. We didn't quit, and I recommend you also to not quit. It can be also hard for your hot audience and warm audience if you don't have the skills yet. It can also be hard, not easy, right? And then we didn't quit, we continue to do it, and here you can see some of the last campaigns where we had much better results. So we were paying around like 100, 200 for a meeting that did happen. This is cost per meeting happened. And we were paying around the cost per acquisition, like how much we were paying per new sale. And this campaign, we spent like 100,000, got 120 clients, and paid approximately 800 euros per sale, which is okay for us based on our business numbers, okay? But just so you know, I'm just sharing my actual numbers and idea and situations. And the principle is, it will be harder to grow because the audience will not be hot or warm. And new results are outside of the comfort zone. New results are in these three circles, right? The CWH circles, right? Remember that. Cool. The flow of demand. This is a great concept to grasp and to just realize. It will help you to just knowing why certain things happen the way they do, right? Let me explain. So the market. This is the market. Like everybody, humans, every human, let's say. And the market has people, the humans, that have different desires at different times and with different frequencies. Okay, it's a complex, statement. The market, the people have desires. Everybody has desires, like what they want, at different times and at different frequencies. Let me explain. So people want to have healthy lives. People want to make money. People want to save money. People want to have relationships, right? And then these people are like more blocked into smaller chunks, like losing weight, getting muscle, investing, starting a business, getting a wife, raising a kid. And then this gets even smaller to the millions, like small, mumbo jumbo, like many things, right? And these desires for these people, imagine they're like moving all the time, like moving. For example, let's say this is losing weight. Here is interest level, like from 0 to 100, like I'm very interested in this. And here is 0 interest. And this is time, like months. Let's say this is January, right? I'm like interested in losing weight. I want to get into my best shape. It comes to, let's say, March, June. I'm like, not so interested. Okay, not so interested, right? And then again, it's like maybe my birthday. I'm like, I need to get in shape. I will lose the belly fat. Need to get in shape. And I'm again interested, right? And it fluctuates. It fluctuates. One more example. Let's say this is the example, right? My wedding ring. For me, getting engagement ring for my wife, let's say. So, sorry for that. It is non-interested. I'm not interested at all. And then like, I want to marry my wife. I want to marry this girl. At that time, she's not my wife. I want to marry this girl. I need to get the ring. And then I'm like really interested in getting the ring, right? Really interested. Here are more examples about kid toys, about motorbikes, about jumping rope, like CrossFit, about investing in YouTube. You know, I'm starting to watch YouTube. I'm like, I want to get better at YouTube. Invest in YouTube. Building a software company. Learning about software companies. This you should. Why is it so? Why am I sharing this? Why, Nix? Because these people, your audience has these interests, and you want to be quick about selling because their interest will drop. For people interested in your service, they sign up, and then their interest can drop. It's not like they're interested in this forever. It could be like this, your nature of the product for you. It could be like this, that when you get a lead, people raise their hand from ads that I'm interested. That is the only opportunity for you to sell it. In the next, let's say, 5 to 10 days. And with this attention situation we're getting online, it's even less. That's why the difference between ads and cold calls. So why do you think the percentage from successful cold call is so low compared to ads? Because cold call, you're calling to the market, to your niche, and you don't know if they have desire about your product. But from ads, they show their interest. They might be here. They might be here. They might be like here. I'm like 60% interested. I'm like looking for more information. But they also could be here like, yes, oh my God, where are you? How can I buy? I'm like, I need this right now. There could be these changes. Just so you know, because that's what you're going to experience. Once you get leads like coming to you, that's what you're going to experience. These like different people in different stages. Some people can sign up also here, but they will be here within like weeks. So you need to pay attention to that, right? You need to pay attention to that. And the principle to remember is you need to position your offer so that the existing people that have the desire that to reach, let's say, lose weight, get relationship, make money, save money, invest, that you are a great option for them to go to you, right? Because people want stuff all the time. You want them to choose you. You want the flow to go to you. How do you do it? The analogy is the customers are bees. Bzzz. You need to make sure you are the honey that the bees want, right? Customers are bees. You make sure you are the honey. And number 2 principle, which I would recommend, it is to advertise all the time and to stay in the minds of the market, right? To get awareness all the time, like working on that all the time, to stay in the minds of the buyer. to stay in the minds. Because imagine this, like here, let's say I'm a company that sells rings. I'm like advertising here. This person knows I'm there, and it happens. They have a girlfriend. They want to marry it. Boom, I pick them. I go with them, right? That's what you want to do in your niche. You want to stay in top of mind for people, okay? Next principle. Whew, we're going hot. I hope you guys are making notes. I hope you're making notes. Remember the first thing we did about the learning stuff? It was the information in the second power, third power, fourth power. I hope you guys making notes, right? Make notes, right? So you retain information, right? Retain information. Or watch this multiple times. 3 to the fourth power. What do I mean? This is a growth hack. Got this from Tony Robbins. I love this idea, and I want to share it with you so you can be better and kind of use this as well. So let's imagine we're going to improve all of these business data by 3%, right? We're going to add 3% to all of them, right? It's not improve, it's like adding 3%. So 3% more leads, 3% more booking rate from 20 to 23%. We're closing at 23%, not 20, and we're increasing the price by 3%. What would happen? Think about it. Like, tell me a number. How much would the end result change? What do you think? By 1,000, by 2,000? What do you think? What would you say? Here's the answer. It would change by 40, almost 40%. By just tweaking everything by 3%. Wow. Didn't even need to have a new business or new product or new funnel or anything. Just 3%. Just 3% more leads, right? 3% in all of these things. Wow, crazy. The second example. What it would look like if we change 10%, if we improve 10% from this starting position. The change would be 2.7 times more. It would be 2.7 times more by just getting a 10% bump on all of these numbers. Just by doing that, you basically almost 3x the company by just 10% better on all of these. And of course, for closing rate, it's like 50% better because you went from 20 to 30. So it's how you look at it, right? It's how you look at it. Just so you know. I also know there's somebody probably a mathematical expert that's like, Nix, it's a little bit problems there, a little bit problems about what you're calculating. Okay? So the principle is small changes can add massive results. Knowing the score. This is very important. Knowing the score. What do you mean? Let's imagine this is an actual situation. Latvia is playing against USA ice hockey. USA typically wins Latvia because USA has a better team, I guess, more skilled players and etc. And based on statistics, USA typically wins. But one time Latvia also, I think 2 times or 3 times in like whole history, Latvia has won. So imagine this. Latvia has 3 goals. And USA has 2 goals. But Latvia has 2 penalties. So 2 guys in the penalty box. So we're playing 5 against 3. How should Latvia play? What do you think? They should attack. They should defend. They should be very defensive. They should play the same style. Like, how should they play? What do you think? Like, strategically wise, how should we play? And why defensive? You're most likely you said defensive. Then why? Why do you think defensive? Why? It's a scoreboard, right? That kind of tells me how to play, right? Right? That's a scoreboard. What if we play this game? It's called cricket. And let's say Australia is playing Pakistan, this game. And this is the score. How should Australia play to win the game? How should they play? Offensive, defensive? What do you think? Why don't you know? Because of the scoreboard, right? If you do know the scoreboard, then of course it's not the case, but most likely people do not understand this. And I still kind of don't understand this, right? There's like points, innings, outings. It's like weird. Like you don't know the score and you need to know the score. Sorry, you need to know the score to win. You cannot win without knowing the score. And here's examples of business scoreboards. Like a closer scoreboard. People that do meetings, like you can see here. Meetings, new deals, closing rate, total cash collected. We're seeing our scoreboard. Are we winning, losing? Here's one more example. For paid ads, how much are we spending, clicks, leads, percent of leads, cost per lead, Are we winning, losing? What's the score? Here's another example of the profit and loss statement for a company. Are we profitable, not profitable? What's happening? Are we winning, losing? What's happening? Next example, Shopify Sales CRM has a scoreboard. It shows you what's happening, how many leads, how many deals won, how many leads today. You're keeping score. Like you're seeing the scoreboard. You're seeing the scoreboard, right? Because this data tells you what to do. It gives you information about your activities. Are these activities which we're doing are good or bad? It's like the hockey game. Once you know the score, you can adjust your activities. You need to do more, less, change it, not do this, not do that, to adjust it. That's why you need the scoreboard, right? Because these actions will drive better data, and the data drives better actions. And it's like a self-serving situation. We're also gonna do an exercise at the end of this video. So we're gonna do a company diagnostic exercise. Let me explain. So here's my example of just checking a specific time period, like last month. This is not last month, but this is an example. It's an actual example. Like last month, I do a frame. I check what's my situation. So how much ad spend, how many leads, how many meetings were done, how many clients, closing rate, revenue, cash collected, ROI on ads, labor costs, profit, how much profit, making sure I know, right? This is a small job to do, and at the end of this video, I want you to do it so you see for yourself what is the scoreboard and where you are not moving anything, and you will immediately have focus on what you should focus on right now, right? So there's a tool called Shopify OS. There's also a separate video which you're gonna watch about this tool where it explains how to use it, how to do it. All of the sheets we have prepared for you, they will be also in this tool, in this one thing, so you're not messing around with multiple like tools and sheets and stuff, so it's all very organized in one place. Plus there might be some videos with separate tools in different sheets, but with time all of them will be here, or some separately will be kept separately for some reasons to make it better, I guess. So okay, this tool will help you to identify 4 big places: marketing, sales, product, aka service, and finances. The typical problems you will see, is, first of all, you have no data, like no scoreboard. How can I know I'm winning or losing? I know how no scoreboard. The second biggest thing is not enough leads coming in. Or the third, not enough ad spend, or not enough activities to get the leads, or not enough meetings, or poor closing rate, or you just, let's say you're doing sales yourself, let's say you're doing 20 sales meetings per week. It's just like you cannot grow more because you just cannot do more, right? So you're insufficient availability. So there's not enough available spaces on calendar to grow. So you need to hire sales people, so you need to expand the team. Poor show-up rate, lacking a back-end sales, like let's say you sell something for a low ticket, you get sales, you're a little bit maybe making profit, but there's no bigger product you could sell to make like a real profit from it. Or you're not selling the next course or the next thing to have that. That would also be a problem, right? Or for many consulting businesses, you're doing really well, but you're not ascending people. You're not like increasing the lifetime value of those customers. Lack of profitability, you're expensive labor, so you're really spending like 80-90% money on labor, and it's not profitable. You need to change the stuff, right? Ads are maybe not profitable, but again, most likely it's not the ads. You should always think about what I can solve, which is very solvable right now, and that can change, because still to this day, companies spend millions and millions on ads, still profitably, right? Okay, chasing too many rabbits. It means like you are switching opportunities, trying to do everything at the same time, or there's just no problem. You just need to rock and roll. You're like good. You just need to rock and roll. So the sheet, let me show you. Below this video, you'll have access to the Sharp OS, and just make a copy, file, make a copy. Here you can learn about the other sheets we have here. So we have a bunch of stuff here, which is really useful. In the next video, you'll learn about this in more detail. but I want you to go to the Diagnostic. We also have a weekly version and a monthly version. And I just want you to do the last month. So here is an example of what I want you to do. And once you do this, first of all, just look at it and think, just look at it for like 2 minutes. Once you have the data, just look at it. And of course, you might be, it's hard for me to make precise numbers. Just put an estimate if you don't have it. Just estimate, but look at it. Just look at it. And what will happen is you will very quickly see the problem. You will very quickly see the problem. And what you could do is make a screenshot, like Control Shift, like this, a screenshot, or maybe with the Windows is a little bit different. I use a MacBook, but make a screenshot and post your Diagnostic in the school community so that I can see, my team can see, other people can see your business situation. Plus, some people will give you feedback. We will give you feedback. And again, you immediately will have focus. So that's what I want you to do, to make the diagnostics about last month, to have clarity on where to focus. That's it for this video. I hope this was revolutionary for you. I hope you got a lot out of this, a lot of training, a lot of nuggets. Hope to see your Diagnostic. Hope to get hope you get yourself more aligned to the stuff that is actually going to move the needle for you, so you can grow, achieve your targets, and get to the next level. But bam, bam. I think this was a good one, right? This is a good one. I think so. Good energy, everything good. So stay sharp, make a move, and I hope to see your Diagnostic in a bit. Let's go.